Hi everybody, myself Arjun. As we all gathered here for knowing what exactly is translation. I don't know whether translation is the right word. We use in the industry. It is called we use as localization. So make language. The idea is the language should not be a barrier for anybody to use the tech. So be it an app, be it a desktop application, website, or anything, language should not be a barrier to use. And hence, we are all gathered here to have a translation, like entire community volunteered to join to translate our QField app. And maybe after that, we can also get into translating QGIS as well. So we have Annie Peter with us. Annie Peter, we have been very quite long friends from I think
2006.
2008 onwards. Been actively contributing to various localization activities, language computing, community projects, and other open source projects. Annie was one of my mentor when I started contributing to open source, and she was with Red Hat as a local language maintainer, and thereby led a lot of other open source uh, localization projects such as GNOME Linux translation, KDE translation, Mozilla, and whatnot. A lot. Ani, as she told before, like she is away from the community and all the open source field due to her health condition and personal reasons. I am happy that I could bring her back to the open source field again. Yeah, that's a very brief intro about Annie, and over to you, Annie.
Thank you, Arjun, for all the nice words. Really appreciate that. Yes, just quickly, just to continue Arjun's what about he was introducing about me. It was back in 2006 to 2016. I was with Red Hat, yes, and I was the Malayalam translator. We have done a brilliant job, brilliant tasks together. SMC, Red Hat, and that through Red Hat is how I got in touch with SMC and the whole. We were a group, and it was really beautiful those days. So yeah, lots of introduction. So I mean, I think we'll get into business why we are here. Uh, I am not in this field right now, but I was with this for 10 years. So whatever little we have learned together as a community, with our experiences, we thought we should be sharing with you. When Arjun told me about this first, I said, I'm not in this field anymore. He said, that's not important. Basically, we just want to share the experiences, whatever bad experience we had, or whatever bad things, or what we should not be doing, or what we should ideally be doing to make the best quality translation. So when he said that, I thought, okay, let me give it a try, and that's how I'm here. So I have made a small presentation, but I won't be going through the slides and all that. If you want, I can just share it. It's just something to be on the screen. I'll be talking more and citing few examples so that you can understand why, how, and for whom we are translating. I'll just put it on the screen.
Yeah.
The first one, what is translation? So see, translation, I'm sure everybody has all have heard this term translation, and you know what is translation all about. What is it about? It is just simply understanding what the original message or the sentence means and conveying it exact meaning, conveying it to the viewer or the listener or the reader. Whatever the source language, it will be 99% will be English from that source language to the desired language. That is just in simple words, that is what translation about. So I would say, or like it happens in a day-to-day life and every other second, because when people, of course, you need to understand the language what the opposite person is talking to you. If you know the language, whatever that person talks, believe me, we listen to that, and our brain language compiler, it compiles into our own mother tongue, and that's how we are understanding it, right? Exactly, that is what is happening. So basically, translation is nothing but understand, convey the meaning in a very simple form, so that it is communicated well, and whatever that original text or original content, what the author or the writer has meant, that original meaning is as it is conveyed to the recipient. That is all about translation. I don't want to talk more about translation because everybody knows what is translation. So here, what we would be focusing is basically the do's and don'ts. So Arjun, if you could go to that don'ts of translation to the second last slide. We'll start from there. Yeah, this one. I'm sure all would have. I don't know if, how many of you have been translating those things. I do not know, but that doesn't matter. But then when you say you're translating or when you're doing translation, first and foremost, everybody would say that don't do word by word translation. There are so many reasons for that particular advice, but trust me, in this software translation field, at times you may have to do some word by word or transliteration. May, that is depending on the situation or that what particular thing you're translating. So what is the difference when you say that you should be avoiding word by word translation? I can cite an example, and this is, believe me, it's a real time example. When I joined, in fact, Arjun has also seen that translation. One particular application, when we opened, the string to be translated was no space left on the disk. Can you imagine the translation which we saw in that? Somebody had translated that. The literal meaning of that is word by word. That is, there is no space in the left side of the disk. Somebody had translated in Malayalam, which meant that. But that that is actually the word by word translation, right? So no space left on the disk simply means that the disk is full. That's it. So that is why we say avoid word by word translation. Another example, let's say a phone number. If you're just translating it as, it's a simple example. Phone, Malayalam, we say number, we can call it, of course. See, again, when it comes to language, it depends on your culture. The language culture is also, that also plays an important role because, okay, I would be talking about that again, but then still, see, in Malayalam, number, we also say number. We don't have to really go into that, the exact word, which is akkam. Akkam also means, it means number. Malayalam, we say akkam. So imagine phone number, translating it as phone to some Malayalam word and akkam. It doesn't mean, right? So that doesn't make any sense. So you just simply write phone number, as simple as that. Another example is office. In this software context, Office means Microsoft Office. But this also we have seen, people have translated office into the meaning of office. That is, Malayalam we say Karyalayam. Hindi, I think it's called Karyalay. Imagine a software application where you're translating office to the meaning of office. So this is why we always say avoid word by word translation. So when we say avoid word by word translation, there comes context, which plays a very important role. Why? Because consider, see, most of the words which we use in this computer language, it's actually part of our daily usage also, like open, close, apply, run, cancel, mouse, save, all these things. Imagine if we are sitting and translating this into word by word. Let's say save. I think there is an ad, right? Tax bachao or something like that. Early, I think now they have improved the translation. Imagine using in the app, in the software context, if you translate word save, which means rescue. The literal meaning is, yes, rescue, but in a computer background, save means just save that file, right? Make sure that you don't lose that file, the content. This is why word by word translation must be avoided, and context plays a role. Another example, see, there could be messages like where you see yes or no answers, right? See, in English, there will be like, do you want to save the file? You say yes or no. Do you want to continue or do you want to proceed? You say yes or no. But in Malayalam, yes or no means ade, okay, sheri, go. But do you want to continue? We actually in Malayalam we say venam, venda. Again, you need to see where that particular string goes into the final application so that you can decide what is to be exactly written there. Yes or no, or yes, I need, no, I don't need. That kind of a contextual translation plays an important role in these kind of examples, these kind of scenarios. And from Arjun, I understand that your this particular translation group, you're translating the QField mobile app, right? So at least we know that what we are translating. The purpose of translation is very clear. We are translating a mobile app. So we know that we have a handset. If we see something, this is coming on the phone, and this is what we're going to use. So that also, if I say an example, I think there's a common, I don't know, I'm not familiar with the strings being used in this particular application, but imagine somebody has written press any key, and you're like literally using the word in your language for pressing the key, and you have a touch phone. There is no more pressing happening in your phone. So these are the kind of things you need to remember when I say contextual translation. Basically, nothing, just making it user friendly. That is what we are trying to say here. Another example I can cite is application. When you say application, it could be an application form. See, a normal person may think application form, but then in this context, it is an application, nothing but a set of programs that is being executed, or something of that sort. Application doesn't mean the literal meaning of application form, as in you know what I mean. So now, in this software translation field, when we talk about context, also means like what we have. I think, do you still use Transifex, the translation tool? Maybe I think that is what you still use. So you will be having those strings appearing in the top section, and you will be translating. Earlier, when we used to have 90%, the context was missing, so we didn't know those fragmented strings where it was going. So it's always helpful that if you know the application, or if you know the software what you're translating, you know that particular string, where is it going, so you can see it on the screen, and acha, this is where it comes, so okay, this is how I need to translate. So when when a particular message comes, you got to think if this is just a message, or is that string going to be appearing on a label or a button, or is it even a command? Like, let's say, this also is a real example. I think there was a string called type shell or something. So shell means shell. You have to type shell. You can't translate or transliterate it in your language. That doesn't work. So you have to write type, and shell must be in English. So that exact not even transliteration, same English word must be used there. Then you would have also come across strings like %1, %2. All those are parameters or variables which will be replaced when the translation actually appears in the final app. So then there are other examples like abbreviations. So abbreviations, please, we should not be translating. Then the X and Y coordinates, that is one thing. So this also, see, believe me, all these things we have seen. That is the reason we still remember all these examples. X and Y, if you translate this, it is just going to ruin the whole application, and it's just not going to work. What are you going to do with that? X means you just have to copy paste as it is. X is X and Y is Y. And I have just noted down some examples. That's the reason. Then Bluetooth. Bluetooth also, people has literally translated blue, that the color blue, and tooth, your teeth. So these, maybe somebody did it on purpose, we do not know. But for us, in your case, it's very easy and very simple, because you know what you're translating. You are translating the messages, or the interface, what you're going to see on the phone. Trust me, that is really going to be helpful, because you know that who the users would be. See, uh, in when I can talk very well about my language, because Malayalam, example, let's say words like install, switch, because I think 80% of the words we have borrowed it from English and that and this. So install and all, I'm not saying that there is no Malayalam word for install or switch and all those things, but it is not part of our daily life or day to day. We don't use that word. So even if we use, technically we may be right saying that install English word, Malayalam word is this, or the projection English word, Malayalam word is this, but using that Malayalam doesn't make any sense to the user. That is a very reason why there are so many applications which is translated into your language, but you don't use it. Why? Because that translation doesn't make sense to you. It is so difficult to understand, doesn't convey any meaning to you. Just it's not user friendly, meaningless actually, and in rather it is creating more confusion that you are not able to use that translated app. So these kind of awareness we got to have, so that we'll be very conscious, and we'll take proper cautiousness that this is where this translation is going to be. So you got to be aware what and where this string is going to appear. Then again, not just a word which you'll be using. uh, See, you have to also consider the size of the widget. Some strings will be going to be used as a label or as a widget. So this again, maybe I don't know if you will be given, if the translators after translation, the testing phase, if you're part of it, that those words you can cut short it. Like if I say today actually I was just checking the phone, and when I was switching on the Google map, it asked me to switch on the location, obviously. So we have, I think one is cancel and one is turn on. So turn on, it will be appearing as a standalone string on your computer, right? So when you see turn on, you actually do not know at that moment, if the context is not given you. You do not know where that string is going to be, but actually it is coming. It will be appearing on the screen, where it is asking you if you want to on the location services or cancel it. So if you write it as turn on, so if you write turn on in Malayalam, if somebody sees turn on, we may end up writing that as on cheyuga. Hindi, I think maybe you say on karo or chalu karo, whatever. I don't know the what you would be using that. So on cheyuga, if you write on the phone, turn on in your our language won't appear there completely. It'll be like it'll cut it off. That is again, this also you got to keep in mind. So you can just cut short the translation, make it sweet and short, like fax language on. And when you see on the screen that on is more than enough, you know that if the application is asking you if you want to continue, switch it on, or you want to cancel it, as simple as that. So when you translate, when you see something on the screen, what Arjun, can you go to the do's of translation? So I just, you can consider this as certain tips when you translate. So whenever you see a string context, this is going to the application. So let this be this translation or whatever you translate. First, when you see a string, you understand where this string is going to be. What is this string all about? What is it a command? See, example, if I got an example from your app only, that is center your camera on a code. Center your camera on a code. If you simply see that message, since you're using the application, it is very important that you use the application. And I'm again, I would like to say that you're fortunate enough that you know the application and you are fortunate to use that application, what you're translating. So if I'm given this, I'm not aware of the app, and if I'm given that center your camera on a code, since I have a bit of background, I would imagine that it is okay. I think it's talking about a code. Maybe you have to focus your camera. I'll keep thinking in those lines for sure. But a person completely doesn't have a background, doesn't know what this app is, doesn't know about scanning a QR code, that person may be confused, may assume. So Do not assume you understand what it actually means. So in this case, sometimes the context will be given in the application. Wherever context is not given, you try to get in touch with the experts and understand what that string is going to be used for. Where is it going into? So that you know that exactly what you don't have to do any transliteration, you don't have to do any word by word translation. You just have to understand, convey the meaning in a very user friendly manner. So this is all I have to talk about translation. I don't know if I was fast, if I have conveyed what I really wanted to. Just let me know if anything, please.
Yeah, I think I would like to walk through our app only, the
Okay.
Transfer Acts, and just show some basic things where it will be kind of a tip. I don't know whether I can call it a tip, but it will be really helpful. That's
We
how
will
I do.
try. Yeah. Yeah.
So this is our app, the Transfix app, where most of us have landed out in page something like this, and we start doing our translation. We can just search for our language and just start doing it.
Is this
Just
application going to be translated to all Indian languages? Do you have translators for
we
all
have a
languages?
couple of people from multiple languages.
Good.
So this particular thing QGIS for QField for QGIS is something which we are doing, and I think I started a bit on the QField app itself.
Okay.
So this is the interface for people who are new to the interface, and you can see here exactly the interface is. And there are a lot of text here and the translated items here. So some tips which I would like to give is sorry.
Nothing, sorry.
Okay, cool. So it's always a habit of like most of the Indian languages, while we type, we end up with a space at the end. So try to avoid the spaces because that will eat up the space of where it is displayed. So if it is only, suppose this text connecting with three dots, you translate the word and put three dots. So do not avoid the three dots or do not add an additional dot. And here in the context tab, you will get what the exact context is, where it is coming from, and all those things. Sometimes it will be a big string, something like this, where you can see one, two, like these are all variables which Annie was saying, like what comes there and where is the context. We can get what is the context here. It is app missing grid handler. Those who have used the app might able to get connected, like recall where it is actually going or which module it goes, and that's how we get the context. And there is another section called glossary, where you can just click on the glossary. It will take you to some frequently used words. Always try to translate these words. These are the words which are constantly being used. So if we have these words translated, or if we fix these words, it will be easy for other contributors to reuse the same word, or even for error I have used the word pichaka, and when I go back to the actual translation here, so there are multiple text coming with error. So when we click here, if it is not matching with the glossary word, it is not necessary that we should exactly match, or we should exactly use that word here, but it is like the glossary will have some standard words which is already accepted, or since this is the first time we are doing it, it's our duty to fill the glossary also. So error is used there in the glossary. It is in the noun form, which is pishaga, and in unknown error, if there is any change, it will get a warning like this. May not be always true that the warnings are something which we need to change, but still that helps us in identifying if we have gone wrong or not. And yeah, one such thing which Annie told, abbreviations, CRS. CRS is very common in our, and if we literally translate what the coordinate reference system into your language, it will be some other two letters, and we just use the other two letters. Nobody knows what it is. So it is always better to use the most known or most commonly used words instead of literally translating things. A couple of other examples I could recollect from my I just spent 1 hour.
Arjun, there was that QField and QField cloud. So if we translate that, will it break the app? It won't, right? Break the code, or can we transliterate it? Would you get to know?
You feel
Yeah. QField and QField log cloud. I saw two strings down there. It was one word, if I remember correctly, and Q was capital.
yeah,
Yeah.
QField cloud. So cloud is it should be, you know, the word cloud. So that word is QField cloud has to be used as QField cloud alone, not literally translating that cloud into the cloud in the sky. And you can see the app glossary where it is coming from. So you can just literally helps if we are working, multiple users are working, what exactly is accepted in the glossary, and if that makes sense using the same thing here, it is better to use that word. And you can see the where the context is. So that is being used in the QField login page. And you can also get it is one single word.
Yeah, this is just has you just have to copy paste it. The first, you don't have to
You
translate this, right?
Yeah.
Do
Yeah,
you have
that's what.
Arjun? Would you be getting a chance to, after translation, test the application before rolling it out? Will you be getting a chance for that? That would be really
We
nice.
so we need to talk with the team, but I think that will be possible. So X and Y, as said before, X and Y is an English letter. Doesn't make sense of using some letter, random letter from your language, or even using some other
Even
the
transliterating
first
it
letters of.
won't do. X. You can transliterate it, right? That won't help. It'll break the code.
Yeah. So yeah. So these are the couple of things which we I came across in just 1 hour of running through the app and the translation. Just recollected. It's been long for me also to translating things. The interface has changed a lot. It has wonderfully designed to see multiple things in one go. And you can also see the history, what it was before, or if somebody has changed it from one word to another word, you can see who changed it, and you will get to know about why it has changed, or like you can get into touch with that person, and we can debate it out and really decide which word should be used. Yeah. Arvind, that's all from my side. If there is anything people need to ask or discuss, we can have. I think we have still have some time.
Yeah, I think Arjun Aurelia has raised a hand, so probably he can ask. Arjun, are you there?
Yes, I am here. So, hi everyone. I just wanted to know, like, my Transifex account is not getting activated. So, if someone can help with that, so
You can just mail me your Transfix ID. I'll have it activated for the language that you're asking.
okay, sure. Because like,
Yeah, you can just put it in the Telegram group and then mention it. So
okay,
I'll just take it forward.
okay, sure. I will mention it.
Sure, sure. Yeah. Is there anyone else? Any comments or any questions from your side to maybe Arjun, myself, or to Miss Annie? So I think probably not.
Maybe we
So,
can have
and
a
yeah,
group photo before we
yeah,
close. We can have a group photo
yes.
before we close.
Yeah, so everyone, can you just maybe switch on your video? So just take a screenshot or snapshot. Where is this view setting? Gallery, yeah. Kushdeep and Secretary Panagar, maybe you can on your video if possible, so we can take a group photo. Hi.
I actually had a question also. I had put it in the chat box. Is there a deadline by which we should be finishing all the translations, or can we just take our time?
There is no as such a deadline because this is most of a volunteer activity. So, I mean, like we contribute whenever we have a free time. Like every day, if I have a 10 minutes or 15 minutes, then I'll just go there. Probably I'll translate probably 5 to 10 words. So it's literally,
Right.
you know, giving a course of 15 minutes whenever you're free. So there is no actual time limit for this one.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think, Arjun, are you taking the photo or should I just take a snapshot?
Yeah, I had taken.
Okay, okay, good, okay. Musani, so thank you so much for your time for this 1 hour, especially the do's and don'ts, because some of the time, you know, like when we want to translate, many of the time people just go to Google Translate, they copy the entire sentence, so whatever it gives out, and then they copy paste it, so probably it doesn't really work on that way. So we have to first understand whether it is properly translated, check it against if we have any local translation web page or something like that, and then check it, and then probably we have to put it. So that's the major takeaway from this one. So not exactly copy paste it. So it will be like garbage in and then garbage out. So they won't be understand anything when it comes to some complex terms. So that is like major key takeaway for us. So thank you so much. And maybe if you have any doubts on anyone, then I think you're muted probably.
Yeah. No, I was just saying again. I would say that if you could see what you're translating, if you get an opportunity to see it on your screen, you would understand. Because otherwise, you wouldn't know what you're writing. For you, when you see that those fragmented strings alone, at that moment it looks right to you. You know that's how it is. But then when it goes back to the original application, that's when we realize, अरे ये तो मेरे इसमें fit भी नहीं हो रहा है. That's when you realize it, right? You know. So try and see, because we didn't have the chance to test all our translations, but then in your case, since you know that, and that I think those days we were translating whatever we get, all the applications we were translating. So now here you're focusing on QField. It would be really helpful because you're doing this for a purpose. You want your language to be used to everybody, all the language experts, to the layman, everybody. So if you could, the words you use, and if you could see what you're translating on the screen, that would be really helpful. So yeah, all the best to everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Yeah, sure.
giving me this
Probably
opportunity.
maybe in
Thank
another year, probably we would have progressed a little bit more on your translation part. So probably we have like more than 21 people volunteered to translate in 9 different languages. So probably down the
That's nice.
line, more people would be, you know, joining for different languages also. So we'll see how it goes.
Nice to see that. All the best to everybody. All the best for QField also. Do well.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. God bless. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye bye.